Hello and welcome back to another episode of the HangTimes, a show spin-off of the Hangout where I bring you the coolest news, updates, information, sends, achievements, character pieces, climbs, all of the coolest stuff are happening across the country of Australia. And this week, Megos is back. A new Australian record broken. A young gun continues his achievements. And where are all the climbers? So to start off, the biggest news happening, I think, in the last fortnight is Sean Rabbitoo's gone. Alex Megos is here. Now, for those that don't know, Megos may be one of the most influential characters in Australian climbing. Maybe one of the biggest international contributors to Australian climbing, helping put us on the map with his previous trips. He'd been here. This is his third time here now. Megos first came, 13 years ago in 2013. And that's where he put up Australia's first 9A, which is pretty cool. It was a Lee Cossey route that Lee had been trying for some time, but Lee would manage to open the project for him. It was called the Red Project. Now, since the ascent, since 2013, Megos kept it in the theme of the Red Project and named it Retired and Extremely Dangerous. And that was the first 9A in Australia, a 35. So he'd already opened up that grade for us, and that was later repeated by Tom O'Halloran, Australia's very own. I'm assuming you know Tom O'Halloran. If you do not, he was Australia's first male Olympian. He put up Australia's first 9A plus Hump of Trouble, which we've spoken about. An incredible climber, awesome dude, and has done massive things for Australian climbing. So Tom repeated, Retired and Extremely Dangerous. I believe it's got 3 or 4 ascents. I sort of saw that maybe Ben Cossey had done it, but I'm not entirely sure if that's true. Would love to actually find that out. If people are listening, can let me know. But Lee had been trying it a fair bit, being a Lee Cossey bolted line. And I believe Lee was at the bottom of the rope holding the belay back in 2013 when Alex put up Australia's first 9A. And that's massive news just in itself. He also, he's been here now 3 times. So the second time he came in 2015. Another trip 10 years ago where he put up another 9A called, excuse my German, but Schweinebaumeln. My German needs some work. Schweinebaumeln. Could spell it out for you, but it's about 45 letters. Schweinebaumeln at Alpenstone. Another 9A, so that was done in 2015. And the notable ascents from Alex Megos don't really stop there. So he FA'd the Red Project, named Retired and Extremely Dangerous. He put up Schweinebaumeln, Alpenstone 2015. He also repeated Wheel of Life when it was open in Hollow Mountain Grampians, the V15 boulder, but also gives a hard 8C plus route, I believe. Gets a route grade because of how long it is. If you haven't seen videos of that, go watch Megos on it, but Jake Bresnahan on Wheel of Life, I think, is a great video. And then also James Cassay, another Australian, 2 ascents of that one. I believe it's a Dai Kuyamata FA back in the day. But he also, Alex Megos, put up a link up in the Hollow Mountain Cave called Wheelchair, which is the start of Wheel of Life and finish of Silverchair, something like this, which he proposed the route grade of like 9A plus, but still it's a boulder, and now it's closed. So it's weird how it wasn't actually counted as a route grade, because Hump of Trouble was the first 9A plus in Australia, but Wheelchair was put up previously, but it's also a boulder. So just another V15 boulder. And I don't get that root grade for boulders. Like, what do you think is the differentiator between a root and a boulder? Is it the height? Is it the length? Does it need bolts, obviously? If you're using pads, up for a bit of debate, I guess. But I would call it a boulder. A V15 boulder. So he's had two 9As? Two 9As and two V15s in Australia. So he's pretty successful when he comes here. And he's back. So it's going to be cool to see what he does. It's going to be really, I think, not critical. It's going to be, no matter what he does, I think it's going to get media around it, it seems like, with Megos. And I hope, yeah, he's got some projects that he can jump on. Like whether he does jump on, I think he's in Nowra. So whether he jumps on Ryan's route, Turbo Mouse or Harkacey, another Harkalacey, I don't know how to pronounce that one, but two hard routes in Nowra. Or maybe there's some open projects that he could potentially jump on. So time will tell. I will let you know if anything does happen. At the moment, he's climbing. He FA'd a route at Nowra. Coincidentally, a Ryan Sklenica route. You're going to hear a lot of that name because he is a very active climber doing very cool things. And Alex, what was the route? Transfat. FA'd a route called Transfat. It's a 33, so 8C. Not nothing. You know, a couple of days into his trip and he's FA'd a 33. So it seems like he's in good form. He's in good shape. Potential to do good things. But in Ryan's true form, Ryan Sklenica's true form, he repeated the route. Repeated a day later. I'm seeing a trend. After these internationals come here and they FA a hard route, Ryan gets the second ascent and gets the first repeat. So if you listen to the last episode when Sean Rab was here and he put up Cheese Stees of V14 FA, Ryan repeated that shortly after Sean put it up. And then with this route, Transfat 33, that Megos put up, but Ryan had bolted, Ryan repeated it the next day. So he's off ticking internationals tick lists, I guess. He's following the hard climbs that they're doing. Yeah, we'll stay on top of what Ryan's doing. Unless he doesn't want me to, because man, I don't want to just blow his spot up all the time. But I think people need to, a lot of people know who he is, but I think a lot of people need to know more about Ryan Sklenica, because he is also one of the biggest contributors to Australian climbing right now, and he just doesn't get his dues. So Ryan, if you're listening, appreciate the heck out of you, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, and I guess if you are listening, thank you for listening. So Megos is here. God, if there's some cool projects. 9B, 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 9B. Let's go. I wonder. No, I've never been to Nowra. I want to go to Nowra. I want to suss it out. There's so much happening there at the moment. My word, it is Nowra's season, isn't it? Just to touch on the next story a little bit, Mika, a young 12-year-old climber from Victoria, he's having a trip up there as well, and he didn't put up, and he repeated Ironman, and he may be the youngest person to do Ironman, which is a 28. He also sent Weapon of Choice 27 and Spoonman 27. So a great trip for Mika. And it's just these young guns that I want to highlight and show what it is, you know, what these kids are doing and where they're coming from. And sort of getting the backing and the support that they need through other people, through inspiration, through supporters. So I'm hoping I can do that. And it's been, you know, somewhat, all this news has come to me in the last couple of days or so, but it was very quiet on the news front. I don't know if you guys have noticed on socials that every climber, it appears, is in Rocklands right now. And there's some cool stuff. And I don't know whether you want me to report on Australian climbers doing international sends, because there are some cool stuff. People are doing cool stuff in Rocklands. Maybe I'll report on it a bit later. Might just share it on Instagram because there's some strong climbers in Australia, and I hope you guys know that. These guys are paving the way. The last thing I will leave you with is the new Australian record that just got broken. So there's a lot of competition happening over in Europe. We've had a big youth group go over to the youth championships, I believe over in Arco, as Stefano Gasolfi calls it, Arco. And a Chamonix. I don't even know if I got the location of this, but Hayden Barton set a new Australian speed record. So that makes him the fastest vertical man in Australia, which is pretty cool. He previous time of 5 seconds and 5 seconds and 63 milliseconds. He dropped it down to 5 seconds, 5:47. So 16 seconds faster, which is 15 milliseconds faster. Oh, that makes so much more sense. 16 seconds faster. That's like my time on the speed wall. What's your best time? I think mine is literally 22 seconds. And Hayden's just put up 5:47. Well, cool. So, news. Thank you guys for listening. I'll keep you posted as to what Megos does. He's done so much for this place. And yeah, it's nice just to highlight the climbing. I will speak to you all soon in the next episode. We've got a fun one coming up this week. One of our favourite guests returning. Our first returning guest popping along with his fiancée. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in, supporting, and I'll get back to you all next week with another episode of the Hangout. We'll chat to you all soon. Have a nice week. Enjoy the outdoors. Enjoy your process. And stay inspired.